Braking Point, the F1 story game that I don't think anyone was really asking for. I was kind of excited to see it, I suppose, but were you asking for it, Matt? I don't remember.
I don't remember putting it on my Christmas list, particularly.
Yeah, but here it is, and it's finished, and it's good, and it's okay, but it's also crap. Giving away the opinion way too fucking early. Whoopsie.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But you're joined here, or we're joining you, or however you want to think about this, by both Darren and Matt. Once again, we're here, and we're going to talk about F1 Braking Point. We played through it, so there's going to be spoilers. And yeah, so sit tight, grab yourself a McDonald's branded latte, preferably, what size would you say this is? Large. Not, hashtag not sponsored, hashtag looking for sponsors. Sit down, Braking Point is on its way. So, Braking Point, the story of Aiden Jackson and Casper Ackerman. It's actually props to them for having something different, having something a little bit out of the box. We both got ideas on it. We both got kind of feelings and thoughts about it. That was Matt's elbow, not his ass. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. I mean, like I said, we've completed it. We've both completed the story, the story arc of Aiden's start and Casper's bastardery, and then Casper's redemption, and then his retirement at the end.
Yeah.
So let's kind of jump straight into it, and it's hard to avoid the fact that it is basically the journey on wheels.
Yeah, it's Journey 4.0 on wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to ignore the fact that it is just the journey on wheels. If anyone's played the journey from FIFA, it's a shit mode for shitheads. No, it's not really. It's just not good. And it's kind of written in exactly the same way. The reason why I'd say it's journey on wheels is because the graphics look a bit odd, right? I don't know if you noticed this, but I definitely noticed it. The mouths. Because obviously the engine, whatever the fuck it's Formula 1 is on.
Ego, like 4.0 or something, like from memory.
Yeah, okay. It's obviously geared for cars and environments. The player models look really weird, right? In the first, because I went back and played again to get footage. The first press conference where Aiden sat there, his mouth looks really jokery. It looks really weird. Like, if you go back and play it and think of that, you won't be able to not think it. Because it just looks really weird. Like, his mouth is just so like, ah. I really wish we had cameras on for that impression. It just looks so weird. Like,
yeah, I would admit the player models are just weird.
The rest of the body's okay. It looks a little bit like, do you remember L.A. Noire, where it had the sort of the 2D body and then the 3D head, and it was quite jarring between the two.
Oh yeah, the one where you can like read every little sort of like raised eyebrow and all that.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but said it was like a 3D body on like a 3D head on a cardboard body, which
sounds about right actually. Yeah.
I kind of feel like Braking Point is kind of the same. Where it just looks a little bit odd. Like, it looks like, I don't know any of the production, but perhaps the faces and heads were animated or mocapped, but the bodies weren't, and that's where it looks a little bit jarring. But it's just to me it's just a little bit weird. But that's my opinion. Argue with me if you want. Do it.
Well, that's Twitter for you.
But the story is pretty much cut and dry. It's the kind of the newbie versus the old guard and how they accept each other and blah.
Yeah, and wanky story.
Straight off the bat, I don't like Aiden, right? And I'm like, you're pulling a face, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I hate the new kid puppy in, just excited to be here. His opening press conference, it was fucking awful. And I texted you and I told you how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because I played it before. I played it while you were the British GP. So you were there seeing it in real life when I was there playing in a little bedroom. Like, love life.
Yeah, Darren is not jealous.
Donations are welcome. No, so... Yeah, I texted you about how cringe it was, where he's having his opening press conference and he sat there going, "Oh, I'm there with my heroes, like, oh, this is a dream for me," and like, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like because when he's asked about Ackerman, he goes, "Yeah, I had his poster on my wall when I was a kid. I wanted to be him, and now I get to drive with him." Anyone, say if any driver in real life said that, you would look at him and go, "Who the fuck is this muppet?" Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't think I've seen any driver in Formula 1 actually go and say, "Oh, I'm driving with my hero." I don't see like Mick Schumacher saying, "Oh, Seb Vettel's my hero." Or
it would be say like I don't know, Haas signed whoever and then kept. Let's say it's just Vettel as an example. So if they signed Vettel as a fucking whatever as a senior, and then some Callum Ilott, and then it's like Callum Ilott going, "Oh, I've always been a fan of Vettel. I've always just wanted to be him. Like, I've stalked him for days, and I'm such a big fan." And it's like you'd look at him and go,
break into his driver's room.
and you'd look at it and go, "All right, well, first off, calm. Secondary, what the fuck?" Like, it's just really odd. I just found it so odd.
Yeah, that was just weird.
I just really found the fangirling just really cringe. If you kind of, I think it's because it was written by obviously
a couple of people from who did Drive to Survive.
Well, that explains it then, doesn't it? That explains it then. That's the smiling, looking up in the distance. That you are the Messiah. Fuck off. Drive to Survive. I'll watch it, but it does annoy me.
Yeah, basically, it's like it's F1 WWE edition.
So if it's actually written by the Drive to Survive people, then the story points actually makes a lot of sense. Of how melodramatic it is.
Oh yeah, and Devin Butler, who basically is just there just to push bullshit around.
Do you know what? Right, I don't know if this is controversial at all, but I love Devin Butler. I think he's a hero. I'll tell you why. First off, he's fucking funny. Like, we need that. Secondary, he's actually a good character. He's actually got more of a story arc. He's actually got more dimensions, rather than Aiden being, "Oh, I'm just so happy to be here," and Casper going, "Oh, I wish you weren't here," and that's all they've got. Whereas Devon's just there to be a shithouse, and I have all the time in the world for that. Also, I don't know who the actor is behind it, but he's actually very good, as a very good actor. Second or third, I think that he's actually the hero, right?
Okay.
Right. Because he's there, right? So, obviously, you play through the story, and he's there kind of getting people against each other, which, the big point, they both believe his point, and it's established early that Devon is a bullshitter.
Yeah.
In one of the, because obviously I've gone back and I've collected the footage. In one of the early phone calls with Brian, he says, "Don't listen to Devon. His ego is something," and then he says something else about him.
Yeah.
And then they both go on the story of both believing whatever bullshit Devon comes out with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, they're both two halves of a whole moron. And Devon's kind of, he's seeing their weaknesses of, they're going to believe anything I fucking say, I'm going to play along with it.
Yeah.
Hero, in my mind. Why would you not do that? Racing is mind games. Half of it is off the track with your mind. So, you know, get the clickbait headline ready. Devon's the hero.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I did like, if we kind of break down each part of the story as well, because obviously we're not just going to just speak about random points. Starting off, I thought Aiden, although being a puppy dog, he was also an idiot, right? in the first scene where he, in his first race in Australia, where he goes to overtake Casper, that would be Matt's phone that he hasn't put on silent. Good job, Matt. Good job. I'm not going to edit that out. Good job. Yeah, so in Australia, where he's Aiden's told not to overtake Casper, and he gets behind him and goes, "Don't worry, I've got this," and then drives into him, you'd be fucking fuming.
Oh yeah.
Like, and there is no aspect. And then afterwards he tries to blame Devon. No. Look back, and Devon's there. He has every right to be there. Obviously, don't go 3 wide into a corner. It's never going to work.
No.
And then he ends up saying, "Oh, well, I don't know what happened to the car. It wasn't my fault." Like, it was your fault. Fucking don't be a twat about it. So, yeah. So, in the breakdown, Aiden is the villain. Devon is the hero. and as well, in the second cutscene in China, there is a corner that Aiden's going around, and he takes a tight line, and Casper sort of shoves it up the inside, and knocks him out of the way. I've gone back and watched that. Casper actually has every right to do that. Aiden's taken a really tough line and gives no space.
Yeah, that sounds like a incident that's happened beforehand, but that's probably another a whole thing we could talk about another day.
Oh yeah, I'm Michael Massey in disguise. I'm just kind of playing the advocate. Also, as well, in the second season, where I do like as well on the second season where you do play as Casper. I like that it flipped.
Yeah, that was admittedly a nice touch.
I liked that it wasn't you just playing as Aiden and bastardising Casper. That was actually quite a good idea. But yeah, on the second season in Bahrain, where Casper's car's balance is all shit and he jumps in the pits and forces them into a double stack, why wasn't he priority? Because as I remember, Aiden goes in first, but he's a lap down, and then Casper goes in after, but he's the leading car. Why wasn't he the priority?
Yeah, maybe that bit didn't really make much sense.
Yeah,
from a sporting standpoint.
Yeah, it's like, why wasn't he the priority? What, like, because he was the one in the points and Aiden was a lap down. So that's just drama on drama. It's in a racing point, racing sort of point of view, that made no sense. That's whatever. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you got to take it on the value of it, and that's the value I'm taking it on.
Yeah, name dropping teams.
I'm just saying. Do you know what? You've actually led me, and I've led me onto a perfect point, right? Because I played it as Racing Point, and I think you did as well.
I thought you were Alpha Tauri.
No, I went back and redid it.
Oh, you went back and redid it? Yeah, I was at Racing Point.
Yeah, because I accidentally put it on easy mode as well. So every car was like easy to catch within like half a lap. So I was like, oh, fuck this. So I just went back and restarted again, did it as Racing Point, and put it on hard or whatever it was. So I played it as Racing Point, and then it become Aston Martin, and I just couldn't get the parallels out of my head because Vettel is now obviously the Aston Martin driver. That a lot of aspects of the story were just parts of Vettel's career, right? Like apart from the crash in Mexico where they drive into each other, which just had Red Bull written all over it.
Yeah, that was very Red Bull.
But a lot of it was like Vettel. In Canada, obviously, I'm aware if someone is like just clicking on this video going, "Oh, I don't know what Braking Point is, what it's like," and I've just given every single part away, but proves I've done my research. In Canada, where you can't let Aiden past, you have to just block him. And I was like, wasn't that Vettel with the whole multi-21 thing?
Yeah, but I think the roles were a bit reversed. Like, yeah, multi-21 was Vettel overtaking what should have stayed behind Webber, but he overtook him and just drove off into the distance. That was.
Oh, didn't give her the place back.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way round. Okay. Maybe the parallels between Vettel's career and I don't know, like, because Vettel's chill now and he's great, and that kind of follows Casper's arc at the end, where you do root for him, and then, but I don't know. Maybe that point's just kind of not got too much power behind it then. But I did really like it. You know what? I don't hate the story. I thought, I went into it thinking I was going to hate it, and I didn't.
I think at a point, I kind of just completely disregarded the story because I just treated it as a glorified scenario mode.
Yeah, because we've been saying forever we needed a scenario mode. And you're right. Yeah. I did like the aspects where it was like, finish ahead of whoever the team was. Where it was like, in mine, it was like finish ahead of like Renault and
McLaren.
Alfa Romeo wasn't mine. But yeah, it was. I did like that, where you had to finish ahead of cars, and this, as a story, kind of made sense trying to get the constructors. Other aspects, I didn't really like the phone calls. Fucking, they get skipped. Like when Aiden and his boring mum, when she would ring, go, "Hello, dear," hang up. Didn't care. And it was just very, very, very boring.
Yeah, the calls were a bit boring. But then another bit I do want to speak about is, since we've both been Racing Point, with Aiden Jackson getting headhunted by Mercedes, which I found a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit too promised land, wasn't it?
It was a bit too promised land. I mean, admittedly, I would have liked to try to. Probably I might need to go back through and see if the story changes, if you like, in an AlphaTauri or Alfa Romeo in particular. Seeing if you might get headhunted by Red Bull or even Ferrari.
So what you're saying is, it would have made more sense if if you couldn't pick a team at the start, if it was just a set team and then a set path. So say, for example, if you had to play as AlphaTauri and then got headhunted by Red Bull. You're saying that would make more sense?
It would make a bit more sense, in that sense, rather than saying, I'm driving for Haas. Oh, yeah, you're getting headhunted by Mercedes.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it just seems a bit weird. And the one thing I'll probably say I hated most about it was that the story wasn't really adaptable. Like, you couldn't really fail. It was just do this scenario. Oh, this is plot line. Here's the scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there wasn't really a need to fail. It was very much a don't do the objective, just do it again. And yeah, I mean, having a failsafe would have made sense, and I suppose would have been good, but maybe didn't need it. I don't really think of a way around it. If you say if it said overtake someone, and you didn't, I suppose it wouldn't it wouldn't be a huge kind of reason for it. But
no, because I just found it a very just sort of do this. Oh, you done that. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. It just sort of became a checklist while the story was.
It did. Yeah. Do you know what did make me laugh? Was when when Brian goes, "Oh, let me just verify this number," and you were told to both of them at that dinner.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, you were told this by this number." And they both go, "Oh, it's Devon," and it's like, and no one at any point figured that out, and it's like, you fucking stupid. Like, at no point did anyone figure out what the fuck was going on, and no one go, it was just a little bit too unbelievable why either of them would kind of go on that kind of rampage with each other over what they were told by one person. It didn't really make too much sense. But that's why Devon's the hero. The races in between, they were fine. I did like jumping into races halfway through, and I did like having cinematics halfway through the race. I did like that. I didn't like having to do a full race that didn't really make any point. Like, there's one where you have to do a full France race, and no one should have to do a full France race.
I thought France was cool now. After
it was the dullest, most interesting race this year. But it was still fucking boring. Like, I mean, on the game, not in real life. It was. I didn't really see a point in that. But I did like having the jumping in halfway through and there being something happening, and I did like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so that's kind of. Unless there's any other points, we can wrap it there.
No, I don't think I've got any other points to really need to.
No, I can't think of anything else. It did what it needed to do. Maybe next year we'll get another one. Maybe that's it. Yeah, so I suppose we'll stick a neat little bow, or we'll put the checkered flag on this one. How many tortured Formula One metaphors can I think of? We'll put it in Park Fermi. And no, I'm going to stop. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to give us all the good stuff. Give us the follow, give us the share, give us the subscribe. We're actually seeing a lot of numbers recently. What's going on?
Are you going to do your YouTube statistic dump?
No, because I haven't looked recently, because we've had a lot more subs recently. I fear that my stat dump doesn't make any sense anymore.
Oh, cool.
Which is great, but it kind of makes what I say irrelevant, which is also great. But yeah, don't forget to give us everything. We will see you all in the next one. Toodles.
Bye.